Hello and welcome to Seph's figure collection, and because my latest shipment of figures is coming by sea mail and just hasn't arrived in months, I haven't actually got anything to unbox on the channel. And because I don't want to go like a month without any uploads, I thought we'd just do a quick webcam video where I show you my figure collection wish list and just talk about the figures that I want to get, and hopefully a discussion will form in the comment section about all the figures you guys will want, because there's nothing more fun than talking about the figures that are either too rare for us to find or too expensive for us to buy. So won't be a long video, but I just thought might as well because it is fun to discuss. As you can see, I don't actually have that many figures wished compared to most people. I have 65 on my figure collection. And sorry if I cough in the video because I do have COVID at the moment. Don't worry, I'm not suffering badly from it. I'm triple jabbed, so I've just got a bit of a cough. But yeah, I've got COVID, so that's great stuff. The first figure we have on my wish list is a prize figure of all things, and it's a Sega prize figure of Kanata from Lucky Star. Yeah, like this is not a rare or expensive figure. And you might say, well, why is a prize figure of a Lucky Star character on your wish list? And well, to be completely honest, the only reason I particularly want this figure here, oh, nice high quality zoomed in photo there, is because back when I used to buy all my figures on eBay auctions, I'm not slamming people that do that, but I still think you can get some good stuff on there. But often you can get a bit price inflated with prize figures compared to if you brought off Akari or just buying people in my figure collection, to be completely honest. Because yeah, I spent like £40-50 on prize figures before that weren't particularly rare, but I was just inexperienced on how to buy figures properly at the time, and I do not regret those purchases. But in hindsight, yeah, I could have gotten them cheaper, but you know, hindsight's 2020. But anyway, this is one of the figures that I bid on and failed to get, and it's just annoyed me since because I just like the look of the figure and I wanted to win that auction. So one day I'll buy this figure. It's not expensive. I've seen it before on Makari and stuff, so I may eventually buy it one day. It's one of those things where I may never buy it, but I'm always going to want it. So you know, it's a prize figure. It is not anything special. It's just I lost that auction and I kind of want to buy it. The next figure though is not a prize figure, and that is, well, the Alter Mio from K-On! And to an extent, actually, I've got all the Alter K-On! Set on this wish list, so I guess we'll talk about all 5 of them now, because hopefully, yeah, here's a picture of all 5 together. I just love Lucky's figures. I love K-On! K-On! Is incredible. One of my favourite shows of all time. And I have a few K-On! Well, I have 2 K-On! prize figures, which they're the kind of figures where I kind of just want to put them in storage, but I don't like having figures in storage, and I feel I should put them on display. But like, I feel like if any figures are leaving the shelves for another figure, it will be these 2 K-On! Figures, because yeah, they're just kind of cheap, not so great price figures. They're some of my least favorite figures I own, so I do want to get some good K-On! Representation, and the Alter K-On! Figures are just the best as far as I'm concerned. I don't have any of them yet, and for price figures, they're not. For scale figures on the aftermarket, for how old they are, they're actually pretty reasonable. They're not massive amounts of money, especially with the quality of what they are. And I've seen loads of people do it before, but I just want one detail shelf of just these 5 figures, and I think it would look great. Will I buy them anytime soon? Probably not. It's more because I've got to commit. If I buy one, I'm just going to commit to buying all 5 of them. And even if they're not massively expensive for scales, buying all 5 is like, this will be the same issue I had when I brought my Koda Bakiya 1/8 Kunja Kuntaba figures, where I brought 3 at once, then I saved up money and bought the other 2. So you know, I would just get that rabbit hole. So I don't plan to buy them anytime soon, but I do eventually want to get these figures because they're definitely high-ish priority on my wish list because they look incredible, especially Ritsu, because I don't know, this Ritsu just looks incredible to me. But I will get them all eventually. Oh, and a quick thing, the instruments are just so well detailed in these figures. Like, you can't want to buy them just for that. Like, from what pages I've seen and videos, Mugi's keyboard is just incredibly detailed, and I kind of want them just for that because I just like little things like that. Okay, and here we have the first of a trend you'll see, which is the Good Smile Company 1/8 Bakiya Monogatari, or Monogatari as a whole line. I already have a few of these figures. You've probably seen me unbox them on the channel already. I already have the Sengoku from Bakiya Monogatari, the Nisa Monogatari Karen, and the Suki Monogatari Ononoke. And of course, I basically want to get the full set. There's a few, the Black Hanikawa, the 2 Kiss Shot ones, and the normal Hanikawa. Those 4 I'm not too fussed about again. Like, I'd like to have them, but they're not ones I desperately want. So apart from that, I want the rest of the set. So I could just talk about them all now, but no, I'll go for them individually because they are beautiful figures. And the first one obviously is Sanji Kahara. What is with my figure collection today with low quality figures? Anyway, here it is. It looks stunning. I mean, Sanji Kahara just has an incredible design in general, so most figures of her just look good. And the Good Smile Company line takes the Blu-ray arts, and the Blu-ray arts from Monogatari are incredible, and this is one of the best ones because, like, look at that. Look how stunning that looks. So I desperately want this figure. It's one of the more expensive in this line, which is a bit annoying, but it will definitely be a figure I get sooner rather than later. And there is another Sanji Kahara scale figure I want, which is the Emotion Star 1/8 Sanji Kahara. Now this figure isn't the best quality. It's pretty poor quality for a scale, actually. The reason I want it is because it comes in a set with the Emotion Star Araragi and the Emotion Star Hanikawa. I already have the Araragi, and I really want Sanji Kahara to go with him. I've seen this Sanji Kahara a few times out of box, and I didn't buy her, and I kind of regret it now. And I quite often see all 3 of them as a set in boxes, and I don't need all 3 of them, which is very annoying, because I already have Araragi, and I don't particularly want to get Hanikawa. I don't like the look of the figure, and I feel Sanji Kahara and Araragi together look fine. I don't feel I need Hanikawa to make it look good. But the whole point is that Black Hanikawa is a cat without a tail, so, you know, her having a tail just annoys me, so I don't particularly want the Hanikawa, which is annoying, because you usually find these figures in sets rather than individually, so, I will get Sanji Kahara eventually, just because I want to go with Araragi, because I think it'll look good together, but I'm not in the biggest of rush to get this figure. Keeping the Monogatari train going, we have the Good Smile Company 1/8 Kanbaru. This is probably the next in this line I want to buy. I just think is arguably the best looking. It's up there with Ononoke and Medusa Sengoku is up there with those figures for how good it looks. I've seen this figure a few times for very expensive prices in box and a few reasonable prices out of box, but both the out of box ones were slightly damaged, and if I'm going to get this figure, I kind of want it to be in good condition, so I kind of passed that. But this figure isn't the rarest thing in the world. You see it quite often just for quite expensive prices, so I will get her eventually, and I really want to get her. I swear we'll get off of the Monogatari Good Smile Company figures in a minute, but like we also have the Shinobu one. Looks great. Shinobu's helmet, I love it. It's like my favourite design of her. Like, I understand thematic wise why past back in Monogatari she doesn't wear it anymore. Like, it's masterful writing. I'm not going to bore you by going to my analytical stuff here on this channel, but yeah, I love her with that helmet, and this figure just looks great. Not only are there donuts, but I just love the different parts for all the other characters in back in Monogatari. I think it's a really nice looking figure, really. And I know that's obviously based on the Blu-ray art, so I should be complimenting the Blu-ray art, but like, it just looks good in figure form, and I really want her. And luckily, she's very affordable for this line of figures. She's one of probably, if not the cheapest. So, actually, no, the cheapest is the Bakiya Monogatari Sengoku, but she's like the second cheapest. So, I shouldn't have any issue getting her. It's just a matter of when I do actually get her. Staying on the Good Smile Company train, we now have the Magicka figures. Although I'd love all 5 of them, there's only really 2 that I majorly want, and they are the 2 best characters in the series. And the first one's obviously of Sayaka. This figure line isn't particularly expensive. You can find them for pretty good value, actually. The whole set overall looks really nice. The other one I'm thinking of, what I really want is to get Kyoka. I mean, Sayaka and Kyoka are the best pair in the series. Like, they're the 2 best characters as well, and I just want the 2 of them posed together. I just think it look really good. So those 2 figures are ones I definitely want to get at some point in the future. And as I said, they're very affordable. They're quite easy to get hold of, so I think again it's only a matter of time before I pick up these 2 figures. Back to Monogatari, we have the ending vignetta figures by what is it, Q I think is they're called, I can't remember. Anyway, there's 2 figures in here, and that is the Hachikoji and the Kahara. You can also get monotone versions, but I prefer the coloured ones. I love these figures. I really hope they do more of the ending vignetta figures, just for like any of the other characters, because there's ending vignetta versions of like all the main characters in Monogatari, so you can easily do a line of this. There's already a Shinobu as a prize figure made by different people, which I already have. I've shown it off in a video before. But I want these two to go with it. I think the three of them look great together. In fact, there's an image somewhere, I'll throw it on screen now, of the three of them together, and it looks great. I almost brought these two and the Shinobu together, pre-owned, and I just didn't, and I really regret it now, because these two figures didn't retail for too much. Like, their scales, they're very small scales, but they retail ridiculous amounts of money, but now in the aftermarket they are ridiculously expensive, which is annoying, because I really want them, but, you know, I'll get them sometimes, just me looking for a good deal. Usually, hopefully I'll find both of them two together, hopefully out their boxes, they're cheaper, and then I'll pick them up that way. But I really regret not buying them in the past when I had the chance, but I do want them to go with my Shinobu, just because I think it looks fantastic. Okay, we got another Gintama Company Monogatari figure. As you probably noticed, most of the figures on my wishlist are Monogatari, and you know, it's my favourite series, so of course it's going to be. This is another one where I've seen it a few times, and I've almost picked it up. I really don't know which of the two I prefer. This is the normal version, I think. Will it be on here or be a separate page? There's an alternate version that's green. Oh, that's not good. There's a counterfeit version. I'll have to be buying it in a box then. But yeah, there's this one as well, which is the green variant. The green variant follows her colour scheme from the anime more, but I think I prefer the pink one. I don't really care, to be honest. I'll buy either or. But I hope to get her sometime soon. She's about mid-range for the Good Smile Monogatari line, so I'll get her eventually, which seems to be saying for a lot of these figures, but this is a figure I really want to get, especially to display her with Karen, because I think the two of them together are going to look great. And yeah, I could compliment how nice the figure looks, but again, I'd just be complimenting the Bakiya Monogatari, Nisa Monogatari Blu-ray art. We have another prize figure here, and that is a Gintoki one. It's by Banpresto. It's nothing special. Look, it retailed for 476 yen. It's not an expensive figure, and it's based on the cover of Volume 1 of Gintama, and I think it's just a nice looking figure. There's a Kintoki that goes with it as well, but I wouldn't really want to have two prize figures like that taking up all that space, so I'd probably only get the Gintoki one, and I just want it because it just kind of looks nice. Like, there's plenty of Gintoki figures that I'd want to get, but this is like one of the few ones that I probably will get, just because I like the look of it. And despite Gintama being my second favourite series of all time, I have not got enough Gintama figures. Well, I've got what? 8? I've only got 10 Gintama figures, and that is not enough in my opinion. And speaking of some of my favourite series, we also have this Kumigawa Misogyny figure. Is this the only picture? Okay, there's a better picture. He obviously goes alongside this Naze, which I already have a figure of. And yeah, it's Kumigawa at the end of the day. One of my favourite characters of all time. One of the best antagonists of all time. Just a masterful character. And this is like the only figure of him, and I kind of want it just so I can have a Kumigawa figure, because Medaka Box does not get enough love, and Kumigawa does get enough love. People love him, but like more people should love him because more people should read Medaka Box. So yeah, that's the takeaway from this video. It's nothing to do with figures, it's that you should read Medaka Box. More Madoka Magicka here, because we have the Aniplex Stronger, oh god, what's the word? Or Yukata figures. Now, there's only really two of these I want, and once again it is Sayaka and Kyoka here, and I think the two of them just look great. Like, I think all of the ones in this line look great, but they're my two favourite characters, and so they're the two I want. And also the best part about these two figures in particular is this. You can pose them hands together and it just looks kawaii as hell. I really want to spend them like this, so that's obviously why I'm looking at these two. They are bloody expensive, so I may never even get these figures, but if I do, it'll be far in the future, because they look great, I really want them, but the price tag on these two is quite substantial. Luckily, people often sell these two together, which is probably cheaper than buying the two individually, so that's something, I guess. But that is the end of all the Magicka figures on this list. Here we have arguably the best looking of the Good Smile Company Monogatari figures, and probably the most expensive. This figure is bloody expensive. You never find this figure cheap, and I will definitely get it one day, just because it's Monogatari at the end of the day. Monogatari figures are non-negotiables. I will get them if I want them, but I don't think I'll be getting her for a long while, because this figure's expensive. It's really expensive. It looks phenomenal, but it's bloody expensive. And speaking of expensive Monogatari figures, we have the Koda Bakiya Oshino Ogi. I'm very annoyed that Good Smile Company stopped making their Monogatari figures past Suki Monogatari, because I think the Owari Monogatari and Zoko Owari Monogatari have really good blue arts, and even Kaomi Monogatari to an extent, actually. So I would love to see them. So we don't actually have a Good Smile Company Ogi figure. To be fair, there's only one Ogi scale, and it is this Koda Bakiya one. And although I'm not completely in love with it to the same extent I am with some of the Good Smile Company ones, I still really like this figure, and I really want this figure. So it's very pricey, but one day I will hopefully secure this figure, because I need some Ogi in my collection, because, you know, it's Ogi, one of the best girls in Monogatari. Well, I say that every girl in Monogatari is best girl, so, you know, but it's Ogi, so I'm definitely going to get this figure at some point, but like with a lot of the more expensive figures I've been talking about this video, maybe not for a while. And the expensive figures just keep on coming, because we have the Mega House 1/8 Takasugi figure from Gintama. When I first saw this figure, I was just in love. It is absolutely stunning. Now, Takasugi may be my favourite. Well, he is my favourite antagonist in fiction. Like, I adore this character. I already have 2 Takasugi figures, but they're not. They're both prize figures, and they're right, but this figure just looks chef kiss. It's just, I love everything about it. I don't particularly like the rest of the line, so I just want to get Takasugi, which is good, because these figures are expensive. Like, dear lord, are they expensive figures. Yes, it's a bit annoying, because I do want this figure, but like, I can't remember the exact prices, but it's a lot. So again, this might be a figure I never actually get, even though I'm in love with it. But maybe when I made the money one day I can, or I found a really good deal, because this figure's expensive, but for how good it looks, I can kind of understand why. Okay, so we're now getting into another like set of figures, which is the Koda Bakiya Pokemon figures. I'm not as big a Pokemon fan as I used to be. Like, I haven't played the games in a long time. I still really like all the news. I like all the new Pokemon designs, but I think I'm less interested in the games more than just the designs and the Pokemon themselves. And I think if one thing Pokemon is really underrated for is how good its character designs are, especially its female characters, which is why the majority of the line is on my wish list. So again, these are another example of figures that didn't retail for much, but they're bloody expensive now. Like, I pre-ordered the May in this line. It's coming, I think it comes out next month. But anyway, she was really cheap. We're talking like 6,000, 7,000 yen, something like that. But then if you look at the aftermarket of these things, we're talking like 12,000 minimum. So like around double the price, if not more, which is a bit annoying, because I want a lot of these figures and I think they all look great together, but I think it will be a matter of finding a good deal, or me having slightly higher income if I ever decide to collect them all. But I think once I have May, I'll be more spurred to get the rest, because I don't like having one figure in the set and not the other ones I want, so that might spur me on in getting the rest of these figures. But anyway, the ones I specifically want, Serena is the one I want the most. I love Serena's design, long head design. I don't like her short head design, but I just love her design in general, so this is a must-have figure for me. We might as well get them all out of the way as well. I will be referring to these characters by their English names rather than their Japanese names, just because I'm not particularly familiar with their Japanese names. Sorry if that offends anyone. That is just the truth of the matter. Is that all of them? Well, we'll know if we missed any. But yeah, so what's her Japanese name? I'll use the Japanese names then. But it is Hilda in English. Toka. I want Toka, because Black and White has some really good designs. Same for, is it May or Rosa in English? Really like her. And Leaf is on my wish list. I'm not too, I do want her, but like not as much as the other ones I've just shown. Sorry about that. And Dawn, again, I really like this figure and I really want it. And although it's technically not the same set, it's also a Koda Bakiya 1/8 what's the word, Pokemon figure, and that is it's Huro, isn't it? Gen 5 flying type gym leader, whatever. I just love looking at this figure. So yeah, I want this figure as well. But all of these are quite expensive, so I don't plan on having them anytime soon. Here is a Fine Clover Good Smile Company figure, which I really want, which is of Gabriel from Gabriel's Dropout. And Garb is like one of my favourite protagonists. I just love her attitude. She's a gamer girl, she's lazy, but she's just so lovable, and this is the only figure of her, and I really want it. Like, it's just a nice looking figure at the end of the day, and it's just a figure I want. I've almost brought it a few times because it is quite rare. You rarely see it come up. When it does come up, it's not ridiculously expensive, it's very reasonable, so again, I will probably get this figure sooner rather than later, but it's just a matter of me being in the mood and having the money to spare. Now, going up for pre-order was a Santania from the same line, and I almost pre-ordered it, but then it just doesn't look good. Like, I know a lot of people's complaints were her boobs were massive and stuff, and that did annoy me a bit, but like, I just didn't like the design of the figure. It didn't look like Santania to me. It didn't capture her energy in the way this figure captures Garb's energy, so I pass on it, and I don't really want the Santania figure, which is a real shame, because you don't get many Gabriel Dropout figures. It's one of my favourite anime of all time, and I want more figures of it, but that's why I didn't get the Santania, but I do want to get the Garb, because it looks great. Next is a Takagi figure, so I might as well cover both of these, and they're both by Fat Company, and dear lord, the figure's expensive. Like, I know a lot of people are kind of hoping for a re-release now that Season 3's out, but yeah, no such luck. So I don't know how far in the future I'll have these two figures, because they're bloody expensive. And the issue is, so obviously there's this, the Desk Fat Company one, and then you have the On the Road one. I much prefer this figure in that she's sitting on the desk. I just like the look of it more, but I don't like her face. And I don't like this Takagi figure as much overall, but I much prefer her face. So it's a really annoying thing where if this figure had this one's face, this would be my perfect Takagi figure. But we don't have that kind of issue. We have a really nice looking figure, but I don't like the face, and a not as good figure, still great figure, but with a better face. So basically, if I ever get them, I'm going to have to get them both, and they're bloody expensive, so I'm not looking forward to that. We technically have this Belfine 1/8 Kazuma scale on here. I'm probably not actually going to buy this figure anymore. The only reason I have this figure on wishlist is because it's the only Kazuma figure. Sure, there's an Android and a Figma, but this is the only Kazuma figure in terms of a scale or a price or anything. But they recently announced the other day a pop-up raid of Kazuma, so that'll be my Kazuma figure. Like, if I ever saw this figure for a reasonable price, I'd probably still pick it up, but this figure is quite expensive, and if I can have some Kazuma representation in my collection that's a pop-up raid, I'm fine with that. I'm not as critical as pop-up raid as most people are, so I'm fine. So I probably won't be buying this figure, but it was more here because I want some Kazuma representation in my collection, and I'm not getting the rest of the Belfine Konosuba line, purely for the fact that they're really expensive and they have massive bases. Like, look at the size of Darkness's base here. It's humongous. And I just think overall they don't know the rest. Like, Megami not having a staff for one, it feels weird. Yeah, so I think the fact that none of them have their weapons but Darkness, I just kind of wish they did, considering they are quite expensive scales. But that's just me ranting about the Belfine Konosuba line. But I am about to praise the Bell line, my hero line. I know a lot of people are somewhat critical of the Belfine My Hero Academia line, but personally I adore them. I love their sculpts, I just love their poses, and I love the bases. I know people don't like the font lettering, I do, I love it. I already have the Momo and the Mina pre-ordered, but I'm really hoping for re-releases of Uraka, Jiro, and Toga. I really want re-releases because I want to buy these three as well, and they're quite expensive on the aftermarket, so they've re-released the Momo, Mina, and Sue, so I'm quite hopeful they will re-release the rest of the line as well. Here's hoping, because I really want to get these three as well. Yeah, I just love all three of these figures, so hopefully re-releases, otherwise I'm going to have to spend a bit of money to buy these three, but these are definite buys for me. These are definitely figures I'm going to pick up at some point in the near future. Back to the realm of expensive, we have the Kadakawa 30th anniversary Konosuba figures of Aqua and Megamine. These are, in my opinion, the best Konosuba figures there are. Like, where's Darkness? Like, they are just, in my opinion, the best. They look the best. They are based on the light novel designs rather than the anime designs, which is nice and fresh because you don't often get that with these figures. And just look at them together. They just look incredible. Yeah, they are the best. They are ridiculously expensive, so I don't think I'll ever actually get these figures. Like, I adore these figures, but we are talking monstrous amounts of money for these figures. The optimist in me says I will have them one day, but the realist says I probably won't have these two because they're just so expensive. But they are some of the best looking just figures I've ever seen, so I really do want them, but I am a bit of a realist. Okay, I'm going to try to speed this up because this is going to turn into quite a long video actually. But anyway, we have a pop-up parade because I like pop-up parades, and from what I've heard, this is the best pop-up parade, which is one of the first ones ever, which is Goblin Slayer. And just looking at the detail on this figure, I can understand why people love it so much. It's also very large for a pop-up parade, and I like Goblin Slayer. I love the character's design, so it's just a pop-up parade I want to get, even if it is quite expensive on the aftermarket for a pop-up parade. Keeping the pop-up parade line, just get all of my wishlist pop-up parades out of the way. I want to get Dazai and Kadakawa from Bungo Stray Dogs, just because I want some Bungo Stray Dog representation in my collection, because it's an amazing show, more people need to watch, and I just want some figures of it. Oh, and I forgot to also include this third one of Chuya, and yeah, I just want all three of them together. Chuya is a great character, I love his design, want him in pop-up parade form. I also want to get the Yu-Gi-Oh ones, just because there's a few nice at Yu-Gi-Oh scales, but like I don't want to spend the money on them particularly, and I'm fine with the pop-up parades. I really like Yu-Gi. Like, I wish he had his dual disc. Like, pop-up parade does sometimes skip out on props and weapons and stuff, but I kind of wish he had his dual disc. I still like him regardless, but that would have made it better. But I obviously want him to go with the other two, which is this beautiful Dark Magician girl. Like, there are plenty of Dark Magician girl figures, and I would like, the thing is, I'd like the character. I think this pop parade looks fine, which is why I'm fine with getting this rather than the scale. I just want the character because I like her design, and I want to, yeah, I just want her collection. I think she would look good with Yugi and Kaiba. And Kaiba looks the best out of these three. Like, Kaiba looks really good. I love how angular it is. It just screams Kaiba to me. The one big issue with this figure is the box is humongous. For a pop-up parade, I think it has the biggest box. It's ridiculous how big his box is. Like, I know it's because he has all this width because of his coat, but when I saw someone unboxing him and saw how massive his box, I was like, dear Lord, thinking of the shipping prices. But this is a figure I'll definitely get at some point because I want some Yu-Gi-Oh figures in my collection, and I think these three are set. I think that would fill the Yu-Gi-Oh void in my collection. I don't think I'd ever want to buy any more. Like, technically, there's those scales of the three Egyptian gods that they might not have already come out yet, but they were going up for pre-order like early, like June last year, sometime like that, and they looked phenomenal, but they were bloody expensive, and I'll never buy them, but they did look cool. So I won't be buying them, but I'm probably going to buy these three. And the last pop-up parade is of Mako from Kill la Kill, just because I've got Ryuka on pre-order, and I want Mako to go with her, and you know, it's Mako, she looks great. Here is something you're probably all well aware of, which is the Kadakawa, right? Yeah, Kadakawa. Subaru, Rem, and Patricia figure. It is a stunning looking figure. The only issue that I'm sure a lot of people are aware of is it's bloody tiny. It is ridiculously small. And bloody expensive as well. So another figure I probably will never actually get, but one I'd really like. But, you know, it's expensive. And the main reason I want this figure is because, you know, Subaru's here. It's the only Subaru figure in existence. I'm hoping now that Pop-Up Parade has announced its Amelia figure, they're going to do a Subaru too, because I just want some Subaru in my collection. But if not, I'll probably have to get this figure because I just want some Subaru in my collection. And I just think it looks good. I just kind of wish it was a bit bigger, but then the price would be a lot higher. So, you know, that's how it is. The Furyu? Is Furyu? I can't remember what the company's called, but the Yukata Kana from Dragon Maid, sorry, that took forever to say, is just stunning. It is a absolutely stunning looking figure. I love Dragon Maid. I know we have the two scale Dragon Maid figures of Toru and Kana in their maid outfits coming out this year. I didn't pre-order it. I just didn't like the figures. They just didn't. Like, I looked at them. I did like them, but I didn't want to really buy them, if that makes sense. They just didn't resonate with me. This figure, though, does resonate with me. And if I'm going to get some Dragon Maid in my collection, it's going to be this figure. It is quite expensive, but like expensive to the point that I would probably will buy it. I can justify myself because I really love the look of this figure. So you might see this get reviewed on the channel sometime in the near future, because I'm always very tempted to just buy this figure. But we will see, because I think we can agree she looks stunning. Also, another Belfine My Hero figure is from the Connect collection of Uraka. I don't know why this, like, I kind of want this figure. Like, I think it is still on stock on Ami, so I could just buy it for retail, but like, it's on my wish list because I do like the figure, but I don't know if I'll ever commit to buying it. Like, I don't really want the rest of the set. The only one I think looks particularly good is Uraka, so I probably won't buy it, but I thought I'd mention it because it is on my wish list, but it's probably not something I'm actually going to buy. There's also this prize figure of Rimra. I only really want this figure because I have the matching Shuna already. Are we going to see all three of them together in these pictures? We're not. There's a matching Shuna who goes with him, and there's a matching Shion as well. Where is she? And it's just them in their black uniforms, and I kind of want the three of them to go together, but like this Shion and this Rimra, I'm not probably going to get anytime soon, but I might get them eventually just to go with my Shuna. And so we are nearly at the end, because apart from stuff that's yet to be released, we've got 10 more figures, and they're all from one of my favourites of all time, which is Quintuplets. We have basically these three I want to get are from the it's a Bandai Spirits, it's like a pajama line or whatever. Where's a picture of all of them together? Yeah, here. And it's based off an artwork from, it's like volume 12 or something. It's one of the later volumes. And I already have Miku and Nino, but I really need to get Yotsuba, Itsuki, and Ichika as well, so I just want to find them together. I don't like having incomplete sets of quintuplets because it just feels wrong, so I need to pick up these three. They're not expensive prize figures at all, they're really affordable, it's just the matter of actually buying them. And the other set I want to get is this one, which is, who's it by? It's again Bandai Spirits, and this is the Bridal Series, the prize one. The only reason I want to get these figures is because I want a bridal set of quintuplets, but I don't want to buy the scales just because they're just expensive, really, and I just want some bridal quints, and it doesn't bother me if they're prices or not. I'm really hoping Pop-Up Parade is going to do a bridal series, just because they've done a bridal figure before in with Tonikawa, and they've done quintuplet figures before, so maybe they will. And if not, I'll probably get them, but I do want to get a bridal set of quints at some point in the future because I can never have enough quints in my life. And so all that's really left now, unless I've missed anything out on this list, is the future releases I'm looking forward to. Like we have the Milim slime from that Time Connect slime by Pop-Up Parade. I've won a Milim figure for a while, but I don't really want her enough to get any of the scales, so I think I'd be fine with this Pop-Up Parade because I like the look of it, so I'll probably order that when it goes up pre-order. They're also doing a Rimra and a Shizu, oh, sorry, I forgot her name for a minute, Fake Slime Fan, but I don't know if I will actually buy those two now. There's also this Nobara figure by Sega. What is it? Oh, it's an SPM figure. Oh, surprise figure. I just like the look of it. I want a good Nobara figure, and even though it's a prize, I really like the look of it. So, yeah, I do want to get this figure. And when's it release? It releases soon enough as a prize figure, so I might just like scoop that up on Kahara or something because I like the look of the figure. And lastly, we have two newly announced figures from just the other day. This is the before mentioned Pop-Up Parade Kazuma, really want it, and the other is this beauty. I could actually make a video going over, I'm not going to, but I could make a video going over the whole extra large Pop-Up Parade thing. If you just want my opinion on it, if you don't know, Good Smart Company announced recently that they are going to do two new lines of Pop-Up Parade. So we're going to have the large series, which is what this is, which is like a 1/8, 1/7 scale. And then they're doing an extra large, which is like 1/4 scale. The large ones seem great. They're like 7,000 yen, which is really reasonable. Like, look at the beauty that is this guts. I'm so hyped for this. And this is obviously a large one. So this is going to be about 1/8 scale, or maybe 1/7. And I just think it looks great. You do not get affordable Berserk figures. So even if it's good smile, even if it's Pop-Up Parade quality, which personally I have no issue with, I still think this figure will look great. So I'm very hyped for this, because this is one of the best peak volume covers in Berserk to start with, and you're making a beautiful figure of it, so I'm very happy. But anyway, as I was saying, the extra large ones are then like 27,000 yen or something, like the same like price as a 1/4 bunny. So it's kind of like, the whole point of proper is they're affordable, so unless the quality is really good, I don't think they're going to be worth it. And also from the examples we've seen, if I'm talking about that, I might as well just go find it. Who is it of? It's from Lucy from Fairy Tail, isn't it? Well, it's because I had to move my keyboard out of the way from my mic, so my touch typing was off. I haven't watched Fairy Tail, I'm sorry to say. Yeah, that's the character, and now I've got to find the pop-up parade of her. I don't know what it looks like. There we go. Yeah, here's the normal pop-up parade. And, well, this doesn't help actually, because I need to click on the other pop-up parade. One moment, I'll be back once I actually find the bloody figure. Okay, I found it now. As you can see, it's a lot bigger, but as you can see, the hair's different to what looks to be an easier sculpt. The dress has lost its sleeves, easier to sculpt, and the whip has gone. So it basically looks like they've upsized this figure, but lessened the detail. And considering that people have issues with pop-up parade detail to begin with, I don't know if this figure here is worth the same as like a 1/4 bunny or not. I don't know. I'm probably not going to buy any of these 1/4 figures just because I can't afford it, and yeah, I just don't see the need to have a figure that big. For me personally, like if you like your 1/4s, go ahead, but for the price point, I can't justify buying them. But anyway, yeah, there's my quick opinions on these new things. I think these, depending on quality, might not be worth it, but I think the large series are great because they are, what's the word, affordable. So yeah, that was a quick rant. But anyway, that is, well, technically there's also this. I don't know why I clicked on this. What is this? Oh, it's one of the Onloke plushes. Yeah, I really want this. I want most of the Monogatari ones, to be honest. And there's some really nice Quincy Tupler plushes that I really want. There's some really nice Quincy pillows I want to get. There's a lot of Quincy Tupler stuff I want to get. If you can't tell, I really like the series. But anyway, so yeah. But we're talking about figures here, so we'll get rid of that. So that is my wish list. Sorry for how long this video has turned out to be, for being a quick video. If anyone watches to the end, thank you, and please tell me what you want in the comment section, or even better, add me on my figure collection, because then I can look directly at your wish lists and see how cool they are. But yeah, tell me what figures you want in the comments, give opinions on any figures that I want to get, tell me how stupid I am for wanting some of these really expensive figures, and yeah, add me on my figure collection. But yeah, that has been the end of the video. Like, comment, subscribe, blah 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 blah. And I won't take up any more of your time, so thank you for watching the video. I've been Seph, the Sin. This is Seph's figure collection, and I'm signing off. Stay safe, everyone.